guide all our councils and actions.
Order 63. I start to move the motion.
I rise to support Francis College.
President,
very total.
Presenting the...
We invited regarding the removal. There are no Senate duties. I take it early.
Senator Jones for
presentation of a bill.
If they do, villages are not.
Then they now send it. I think we should be beyond the pride.
Additional prayer.
I so move, Mr. President. The ayes have it.
A warm welcome to this edition of Inside the Senate, a sponsored program of the National Assembly, bringing you updates from the activities of the Senate. I am Hadiza Bayero Aliyu, your anchor. In our lineup today is a report of the Northwest Zonal Summit that took place in Kaduna State. It had the theme Building Robust Regional Collaboration to Tackle Insecurity, Pathways for Securing the Future. The cause and effect of insecurity in the Northwest was discussed and solutions suggested. Inside the Senate also contains an interview with Senator Osita Izunaso, representing Imo West Senatorial District, and who is also the Chairman Senate Committee on Capital Markets. Stay tuned for excerpts from the interview as we bring you details after the break. Don't go away.
We are going to focus more on delivering dividend of democracy.
We're going to put a law in National Assembly for independent candidates. To say 26 years of unbroken democracy is a plus to all Nigerians.
What we're expecting is the impact of this growth on the lives of the ordinary people of Nigeria. One good democratic action is better than a million beautiful, sweet-sounding words.
Welcome back. In May 2025, the Senate resolved to host security summits across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Before the recess, the Northwest Zone Summit took place in Kaduna State. This was on the 29th of November 2025. We shall be revisiting that summit to highlight issues discussed, solutions proffered for the way forward alongside other matters raised. Let's get a report of this meeting as compiled and presented from our studio.
The Northwest Security Summit brought together political, traditional and religious leaders, security chiefs and development partners to address the rising insecurity in the zone and nationwide. With the theme Building Robust Regional Collaboration to Tackle Insecurity, Pathways for Securing the Future, it had a sub-theme Strengthening Interagency Efforts in Combating Insecurity.
The chairman of the Senate Ad hoc Committee,
Governor Obasanjo of Kaduna State commended the Senate's resolve to organize the summit, saying tackling insecurity as a team is the way forward. He noted that security challenges in the region are complex and ever-changing, requiring a matching response from the government.
Across Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, Kebbi, Jigawa, Sokoto and Zamfara states, the security crisis confronting us is vast in scale and evolving in nature. What began years ago as small-scale banditry has grown into a sophisticated ecosystem of organized crime. Today, our region faces an interlocking web of violent activities, well-structured banditry, terrorism, mass abduction, illegal mining, gun running, human trafficking, smuggling, and sectarian violence. These groups operate across state lines and international borders, and they coordinate with criminal organizations beyond Nigeria's frontiers. Our responses must therefore match their complexity and scale.
Privilege to welcome you all.
Senator Babangida Hussaini, chairman of the Senate Ad hoc Committee on National Security for the Northwest, declared the event open. He said the summit shows the legislature's commitment to addressing Nigerians' insecurity concerns. He added that the summit's goal is to examine the zone's unique security challenges and find tailored solutions.
The Northwest Zonal Security Summit is carefully planned to reflect the peculiarities of our security challenges, which are of profound and complex dimensions. These range from banditry and kidnapping, violent attacks on communities, economic exploitation, ransom for payment, to displacement of thousands of people, creating huge humanitarian crisis. Others include emerging trends in urban areas and high rate of urban crimes perpetrated by the youth, cross-border threats from the Sahel regions, and environmental vulnerabilities caused by desertification and deforestation in the zone. We therefore found this summit as an auspicious opportunity for us to holistically examine the cross-cutting issues responsible for our peculiar security challenges and to suggest practical solutions to the problems.
We have one common objective.
In his goodwill message, the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, emphasized that discussing security is crucial and the summit is a step towards significant change. He noted that leveraging traditional institutions can help tackle security challenges.
With this kind of discussions and also exchange of intelligence between the security agencies and also the government, certainly, there will be a very significant change if all those things that were listed or mentioned by the two speakers have been taken into cognizance. Prof said something very important, and that is the underutilization of our institution. That is the traditional institution. We believe, yes, all other security agencies have their own network, they have their own mechanism of sourcing information, and but still, we still believe our own structure also in the traditional institution should be utilized. We believe we have direct contact with the people on ground, and if the weekly reports that we send through our own channels are being utilized effectively, and then we are receiving feedback, certainly it will assist in addressing some of the challenges.
Systems and criminal economies.
The summit progressed with presentations by experts, after which participants split into syndicate groups for further discussions.
Engagements like this.
Participants at the event shared their thoughts on the summit.
The summit in the first place is very apt, very timely. It came at a time when it is most needed. And from the presentation and the zeal and the passion, as observed on both the presenters and the audience, really it is very rife. It is about time that we curb the menace of insecurity in the Northwest region.
Engagements like this, where faith leaders and community leaders meet together to talk, will reduce a lot of misunderstanding, will help to build better bridges, and will avert all the crises we are seeing around. Though we are dealing with banditry and terrorism, but there's also the part of community people trusting one another, community people believing in one another. Because when bandits strike, when terrorists strike, the members of the community start fighting among themselves. So what I understand we want to do is to see how we can unite the community so that we will know that, this is the enemy.
This is what we have been expecting long ago. If leaders will have a forum of meeting, regardless of their inclinations, discuss issues within them, definitely we come to a solution to most of our challenges. Not only dealing with the aspect of those that were identified as criminal, but we should also be concerned about the sources that lead to that aspect. The economic challenge is something that nobody can deny. The redundancy of the youth, the aspect of even education, where most students, you see them wandering about. These are issues that we should look at them.
At the end of the summit, the chairman of the committee shared some more insight on the event.
The theme of the summit is about strengthening collaboration, deepening interrelationship, and making sure that we all work in a coordinated manner. And I think the submissions and the comments and all the general
body language of all the presenters, the traditional institution, the government, the clergy, the civil society groups, is about understanding this particular concept. And I think this is good because interagency rivalry, especially within the security agencies, and also the lack of coordination in terms of our security architecture is manifest in the problems we are having. So I think the comments are quite welcome, and I think it aligns with the policy direction of Mr. President.
That was a report of the Northwest Security Summit that held in Kaduna before the Senate went on recess. We'll take a break to open the Senate notebook, after which the program continues with more reports.
A joint session of the National Assembly is when the entire senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and honorable members of the House of Representatives sit together in the chamber of the House to be addressed by a national or international dignitary on a subject matter. At the national level, it could be the president addressing the joint session on the national budget of a given year or any other matter as the case may be, while at the international level, it could be the president of another country. In the case of the presentation of the budget of a given year by Mr. President, the budget is deemed to have been read the first time immediately it is presented. A joint session may also hold to receive a foreign president, head of state, or the head of the parliament of another country.
Welcome back from that break. And if you're just joining us, the program is Inside the Senate, a program of the National Assembly that brings you updates from the Nigerian Senate. In this segment of the program, we'll bring you an interview with Senator Osita Izunaso, representing Imo West Senatorial District. He's the chairman, Senate Committee on Capital Market. He reflects on the 10th Senate's progress, sharing insights on its achievements and milestones so far.
The 10th Senate have done very well in terms of providing democracy, dividends to our people, and also writing on some very sensitive issues that has to do with the overall governance of our country. We're not going to say that we have it's been Uhuru. It's not yet Uhuru, but we have done our best, and we are still doing our best, because the 10th Senate is still work in progress. Now, for me, as it concerns my relationship with my constituency, and even my larger constituency, which is the country, I will also say that we've done very well.
Still on the Senate's achievements, Senator Izunaso speaks on the Senate's efforts towards the creation of additional states.
I've been at the forefront of championing a cause for additional state for Southeast. And that we have succeeded to some large extent. Today, the Joint Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives in charge of constitutional amendments have unanimously agreed to cede one state to the Southeast to make an equilibrium, state of equity, that will make Southeast to have 6 states, as is the same thing with other geopolitical zones. So we didn't just achieve that by folding our hands. It took a lot of talking to our colleagues, making them to see reason why that should happen. And now that they've graciously granted us that, it is now left for us from the Southeast to be able to sit down and now decide that this is the state that is the most priority for our people as of now. And we're working towards that.
In the course of the interview, Senator Izunaso discussed the dynamics between the legislature and the executive arm of government.
People used to misunderstand what should be the relationship between the Senate, between the National Assembly and the executive. They shouldn't be in confrontation. No. The fact that there are 2 arms of government, 2 arms of what? The same government. So what the executive and the legislature should do is to be complementary to one another, not to be confrontational. They should be complementary. The executive, the legislature should complement the executive should complement the legislature. If there are gray areas, then we'll sit there and iron it out. I'm not saying that the legislature should be a rubber stamp to the executive. That is not correct, because you have the principles of separation of powers. But what I'm saying is, if there are gray areas, we sit down and look at the gray areas and iron it out. We have had a lot of gray areas here, but it is not an issue of confrontation. It's not the executive, the legislature confronting the executive. What are you confronting for? If you start that level of confrontation, it will be detrimental to the people of Nigeria that elected all of us.
As the chairman of Senate Committee on Capital Market, Senator Izunaso highlights initiatives undertaken by his committee in the course of performing its oversight.
It is to my credit that we have the Investment and Securities Act 2025, which is a repeal of the old law to bring a new law that will now give more robust oversight, regulatory oversight to Securities and Exchange Commission. This has not been there before. So it took our instrumentality, our understanding of this process to be able to achieve that.
He also addresses some of the challenges in the sector.
The Nigerian capital market has been booming in the last couple of days, but if you look at the trend in the last 2-3 weeks, is not booming as it was booming before. And then we have looked at some of the panic buying and panic selling in the capital markets, and some of them has been attributed to the capital gain tax that is supposed to take effect from the 1st of January 2026. But we are saying that even the way the law was couched, most people didn't understand it. They're talking about investment of about 150 million for foreign investors, not for local investors. But it can remove local investors from foreign investors, because when the foreign investors are coming, they still come through local investors. So what we are agitating is that that aspect of the law, because in the law that we passed, there are some provisions there that will say the commencement will be when the Minister of Finance will advise the President. That will be when the commencement will be. So we're saying that the capital gain tax should not start immediately. We're saying that we should tarry a while so that the market can stabilize, because there's a lot of panic in the sector right now.
Senator Izunaso also weighs in on the recent capital market trends and how they tie into the new tax reform laws.
The only good thing now is that SEC have more powers, more regulatory powers now, unlike before. Today they can regulate digital assets. Today they can regulate cryptocurrencies and all aspects of the fintech, financial technologies have to be regulated by SEC now. So we're working hand in hand with SEC to make sure that these things will start immediately, because this law has been assented to now for more than 8 months. So we're thinking that some of those things that make this law separate, different from the other law, have to commence immediately. So we're talking to SEC, and we're going to have another oversight before the end of this year for SEC to tell us how far they've gone.
On a personal note, Senator Izunaso shares initiatives he has driven to effectively represent his constituents.
In terms of developmental activities, I've been able to attract a lot of road construction, a lot of classroom blocks, a lot of pipe-borne water, street lights, name them. Even I had a program of providing a town hall, international conference center, for all the 12 local governments in my senatorial district. We're working on it. Some of them are still work in progress. But we believe that before the expiration of this term, we should be able to complete them and commission them.
As member of the ruling party in the Senate, the senator dismisses the notion of Nigeria shifting to a one-party state.
Well, I can tell you that when we started, we had a very small majority above the opposition party. But today, the opposition party has collapsed to our party. And we're very happy about that, because I don't see anybody that will have a house and you will shut out people from coming into your house. And don't forget that political party is like a church. You can't stop anybody from coming to a church. So those people in the opposition, they must have seen something good in our party. That's why they're coming. If they don't see anything good in our party, they wouldn't be coming. So we welcome them. Today, I'm sure that the APC have, if I'm not mistaken, we're getting close to 80, if I'm not mistaken. And the numbers are still counting. So we're very happy about that. That doesn't have anything to do with making the country to be a one-party system. I don't think so.
Those were excerpts from the interview we had with Senator Osita Izunaso, Chairman Senate Committee on Capital Market. Coming next is the profile segment. Stay tuned for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Haruna Manu represents Taraba Central Senatorial District in the 10th Senate. Since his election in 2023, he has distinguished himself through his legislative engagement, constituent empowerment initiatives, and focus on improving the lives of the people of Taraba Central. Senator Haruna Manu was born on 23rd August 1973 in Mutumbiu, Gasol local government area, Taraba State, Nigeria. He pursued tertiary education at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where he earned a bachelor's degree in business administration with a specialization in finance. Senator Manu further advanced his academic qualifications by obtaining a master's degree in electronic commerce from Carnegie Mellon University in the United States. He is also a certified Microsoft Systems engineer. Haruna Manu's political career began in earnest when he was elected to the House of Representatives, representing Bali Gasol Federal Constituency from 2011 to 2015. His tenure in the House was marked by active committee involvement and the focus on legislative duties. He later served as Deputy Governor of Taraba State from 2015 to 2023, working to support state governance, policy execution, and social programs. In 2023, Haruna Manu transitioned to National Legislative Service after being elected Senator for Taraba Central, bringing with him a deep understanding of governance and a passion for impactful representation. In the Senate, Senator Haruna Manu has distinguished himself through legislative activism and a clear focus on development priorities. He sponsored the Federal Medical Center Gembu Bill, a law to establish a federal medical center in Gembu, addressing long-standing healthcare access challenges in the region. He also sponsored the Federal University of Livestock, Agricultural Technology and Entrepreneurship Development Bill, promoting education and economic advancement in agriculture. Senator Haruna Manu's political philosophy and priorities include healthcare access and infrastructure development, education and technology empowerment, economic development and job creation, as well as social justice and community empowerment.
This brings us to the end of this edition of Inside the Senate. Join us next week for another edition. I am Hadiza Bayero Aliu. Thanks for watching and do stay safe.